And sixth graders, it is Wednesday, December 4th, and you're watching a screencast that's going to illustrate your assignment. So kind of a new way to distribute your assignment. Instead of having it typed out, we're going to kind of talk you through it with a screencast format. So in the assignment, you're going to be creating a spreadsheet with some real-time data. You're going to be collecting data based on who's in our classroom today. And after you collect that data, you're going to analyze it and then make a couple of spreadsheet charts that illustrate some gender type distribution stuff in our classroom. So what I'd like you to do is go to your drive and create a new spreadsheet. And since I don't have a classroom full of students here, and it's going to vary by hour, the name of your spreadsheet, when you click on the name up here, let's call this boys / girls distribution, okay? And that'll be the name of your spreadsheet itself. And as you've done in the past, if you need to pause the video and go back and edit the data, you can do that. But in A1, let's put a simple title at the top that says ratio of boys to girls. And this will be unique for your classroom. And then I'd like you to skip a row. We're going to go down to row 3. And yeah, let's stay in row 3. And let's type in here row 1. And continue like that. Let's go row 2. And let's go row 3. And let's go row 4. All right, because there's 4 rows in our classroom. If you look around, you'll see that each of you is in a specific row. And then in row 2, we're going to put a label in B2 that says girls. And then we'll go next door and type in boys. And then we'll type in total. And after further review, I think we're going to need a total in the bottom as well. So let's jump down to A7 and put in a label called total. Okay, so if you have to pause the video and go back, you can do that now. And then let's format this spreadsheet a little bit. Let's take our title, and as we have done, let's merge it, center it, and boldface it. And in fact, let's increase our font size too of that title to maybe 18 points. Okay, and then what I want you to do is to look around the classroom. And if you're in row 1, we're going to count up the number of girls in this row. And then the same for the boys. And continue like that for each of these rows until we figured out how many girls and how many boys are in each row. Okay, you may pause the video and do that now. I'm going to make up numbers. Don't use my numbers because they're not going to be accurate. Okay, so you must count kids in your classroom right now versus using my numbers or your spreadsheet will be wrong. Okay, go for it. And so I've just put in some makeup numbers. Again, do not use my numbers. Now off to the side, we're going to total up how many boys and girls there are. And again, we don't want to type these in. We want to use a formula that will add these for us. So in case we change our numbers later on, the formula will be correct. And the correct formula to add these up is our sum function. So we're going to want to use the sum function and highlight those 2 cells like I did. When I press return, it'll tell us we have 11 total kids in row 1, and so on. So I realize my numbers are not going to be accurate based on the number of kids in a class or the number of seats, but for demonstration purposes, when we fill this for the rest of the rows, we'd have something that looks similar to this. And for the total down below, we're going to use the same sum function, and we're going to sum up the total number of girls in class, and we can fill that so we'd have the total number of boys and total number of overall students. So your spreadsheet will look similar with different numbers, okay? And then to finish this off, we're going to take our column headings, and since they're stationed over the top of numbers, we'd want to right align them and bold them. And our spreadsheet is now looking pretty complete. Okay, now when I play the video, I'm going to take a time out here, but I'm going to put up a couple of charts, and your assignment will be to create these charts as shown in the video. And so now we are back in the screencast, and what I've done is I've created the 3 charts that I want you to create, and this will be tricky for you. It's kind of tough, but good exercise. So you may have to pause your video and look at the chart and try to determine what numbers have to be adjusted, moved, copied, highlighted, whatever you have to do to make these charts look similar. The only thing that might look different on your chart is the actual data points. The bars might not go as high as mine, but as far as the color of the bars, they should be the same. And all of this stuff should look similar with the exception of obviously the data points. So in the first chart, it's row by row distribution. Each of these x-axis items represents the row, and then each of these bars represents the number of boys and girls respectively in those rows. The girls should be pink, the boys should be dark blue. In the second chart, this chart is laid out differently, but this is a row by row distribution of the total number of students in the row. So this first green bar represents the total number of kids that are in row 1. And you can see my x-axis and y-axis labels. So you'll have to do some work on that one. And the last one is a pie chart that indicates the total number of boys and girls in this classroom. And again, you'll have to think your way through that. Which are the numbers that I want actually in the chart? And you'll have to do some work in the spreadsheet itself in order to get those things the way you want them. So good luck on your chart. And when you get finished, just sit quietly, wait, and I won't be checking these probably until the next day. So good luck and have fun.